Hey, Busties! Welcome to a brand new episode of Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Elleyah, and we're here each and every Thursday with Live Hip Hop Daily at 7. And today we have a very special guest. It's D from PutYouOnGame. Do y'all remember him? He was here last year. And so we brought him back, and today we're going to do a whole exclusive episode, y'all. We're going to play this game. We're going to discuss our podcast desires, fears, and frustrations. And we're just going to talk and have a really good time and conversation. We were already doing that before, but how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Good. PutYouOnGame is back in the building.
Yeah! Brand it out. I love it. I love it.
Brand it out. Yes, man. I got you a gift for you, too, as well.
Oh, really?
Man. Thank you.
I
appreciate the support, man. I really appreciate you bringing me on last year. And I'm always watching you, and always, it's just... You inspire me. I told you this off camera, but I'm going to tell you on camera, too. You inspire me, and I appreciate you.
You guys, like, I'm going to be honest. I watch you, too. You find all the guests. Like, you really do. I was going to say, I've had more repeats than you. You find brand new guests all the time, every single week. But I really wanted them to see what was unique about your shirts. Because you do very thoughtful quotes. Can you see it? Very thoughtful quotes. So can you read that for me since I'm in the back?
He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.
Now, I picked this quote because I believe this shit. Like, for real. I feel like in order to achieve your dreams, you got to go for it. You have to really, really risk a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Risk your comfortability. I don't know about you, but I have not been comfortable since I started my show. How about you?
Who you telling? I have not been comfortable at all.
No, what day? I have been stressed out my mind. I've been worried about it. I was saying this last week when we had Tamika Newhouse, or Jameson, that's her new last name. When I had her here, we were talking about how this is your children. Like, once you say you're going to do this, you really birth life to this baby. And she said something. She said, are you going to have your kid out in the street naked, no food, no clothes, none of that? And you wouldn't. You just would never do that to your kid. Like, I wouldn't. There's people out there like that. But I'm not one of them people. So when she said that, I was like, oh, that is why I'm so worried about my show, because it's like my kid. It's like I'm looking at my kid and I'm watching my kid run outside with no shirt on. And I'm like, nah, get back in here. My grandma's going to be like, where that baby coat? So that's why I be feeling like, let me put a coat on this kid. Let me present myself better. Let me give it just a little bit more. So that's my everyday with this thing. How does it feel for you when it comes to having your own podcast?
It feels good. I created my podcast out of purpose. It was more so out of purpose for me. It was about just, giving out game, giving out knowledge. I realized that there wasn't a lot of platforms out there that were for the underdogs, for people the gems out here who really making moves and not being noticed and stuff like that.
That's true. So not scamming people.
For
follows.
Doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me create this. Everybody's so focused on these mainstream people. What about the little small people that are wise, got interesting stories, can inspire you? You can mainly be like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me create this platform. So my platform, so I always say, I don't do the drama, the gossip. I don't do that. It's purpose driven. You get interesting stories, game. I always say it's a mixture of blends. It's a blend of positivity, raw realness, fun.
And it's true. If you guys have not watched, please give them your Instagram information, YouTube, all of that, so they can find it.
Yeah, man, you can find me at PutYouOnGame, simple as that, at PutYouOnGame. And then YouTube, PutYouOnGame podcast. You hear my intro song. My intro song is I got the greatest intro song in the world. I'm going to tell you that right now.
How about when you were on my show last time, you were talking about you needed an intro song. And then look at you now. You got it. You got it.
Man, it took like months in advance.
Let's talk about that. No, for real. Like, I'm going to clip this. I'm going to clip it in a way where we can have you talking about it. And then have you talking about it now. Because I remember you talking about you wanted your own theme song. So how did that come about?
Man, so shout out RJ, shout out Swain, shout out DJology, shout out Nancy the Great. It was a whole collaboration effort. So for me, it was more so I wanted. For me, I'm gonna start. Okay, RJ, she's the singer. She's been on my podcast twice. Y'all can check out her interview.
Yeah.
But when I first heard her, I came across her social media on Instagram, and I was like, man, I want you on my intro. And she was like, okay. She was like, but she a new artist, and so she still don't have that confidence level. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Of her being like, okay,
I can do
really
this. Yeah,
okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because she also does music, she does content creating, she does like vlogs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So she don't really have enough people pouring into her on the music note, but everybody pouring into her on that other note. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was the only one like, girl, you can do this.
I want to do
you know
the
what
music
I'm
thing.
Yeah, like girl, you can really do this.
I
So
feel
you know, so she's like, okay, I'll do it. But then when time came, you know what I'm saying, to do it, it took forever. But I recently found out that the reason why she didn't do it because she was going through her own little depression,
of course,
and stuff like that. But
That's
you
a
never
lot.
know that.
No, you never know
that.
until you introduce yourself into people's lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Until we talked about it on my show, you know, because I said I'm gonna tell my side of the story. You tell your side why it took so damn long. And so then, because during that depression, she was like, just get somebody else. I'm like, no. This is what we're going to do. You're going to do this. We're going to figure this out. I'm going to make it happen. So we did that. Then she was like, you want to get a rapper on it? I said, yeah, I can get my boy on it. And then from that point on, it just kind of went from there. She ended up sending me the lyrics and stuff, and it just went. Because I was telling her, like, you gotta teach me this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about making a song. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about that. Like, you need this, you need that. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm new to this. So you got to explain to me what you're sending me, what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. You have to, like, I'm a kid.
You have to, like, mix and master your own thing?
Yeah. So I sent all that. Sent to Nancy the Great. She mixed and mastered. DJology produced it. Me and him was going back and forth with the beat. Because I'm like, man, he trying to. I'm like, bro, send me a beat.
A real beat.
Send me a beat that she can rock to. I told him, listen to her music, and send me a beat that she can rock to. Because I'm more of a lyrics man. I'm a lyrics. Like, the beat, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the beat is fine, but I want you to feel what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I want you to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the beat, you know, on that, the beat is something you can bob to, but my podcast is about feel.
Yeah.
I want you to feel like, damn,
so you
that's
want
real.
the words
to
mean something. I feel
you. Yeah. So that's how that was for me. So I was like, so he finally sent me a beat. She could rock to it. Ended up doing it. And I'm releasing it in January this year. So it's on all my podcasts. Go check it out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I heard that. I was like, he did it.
It's the greatest intro, man. Yes.
Do you know what I love is asking people what they want to do and then watching them do that. I think that is probably like the most fulfilling thing is to be sitting there and just like what you did for your friend with the song, like I see in you something. I'm going to wait until you see that too.
Right.
And then when it pops up, you're like, yeah, so now how does that feel? Does that feel, because we already were waiting on it. I feel like people did that for me. I love watching it for other people. Is that what you, like, what feeling do you get from having your successful shows?
It feels good. It feels great, actually. It's just about, when I believe in something, I go hard for it, because sometimes you never, like I said, I never know that she had that push. When I heard her music, I said, damn, this girl has a voice. You know what I'm saying? This voice needs to be heard. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. I was like, something different. You know, so I was on her like, you need to do this, like, because this is a great opportunity for you too. Yeah. You know, my podcast is steady growing, and you know, you're doing music, but not really consistency. Because she said she only write when she has something to talk about. She don't have nothing to talk about for the most part. She already done said everything in the EP. So I was like, well, this by you being on my podcast and you being on the intro, people are going to listen to it. People are going to tune in. So I was telling her, you need to, you know, be your best. So like, it was a back and forth. It was. But like I said, I didn't know what she had going on. Yeah. But she said what I did good for her was I wasn't harassing her. I was encouraging her. But at the same time, I was trying to get my stuff going. Yeah. So I had a good mix because, you know, I believe in good leadership. You know what I'm saying? Being a good leader. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes, like, if I don't know what you got going on, so I'm not gonna come at you a certain type of way.
Crazy,
you know what I'm saying?
And that people probably appreciate that from you.
I'm not coming at you some type of way.
I hate when people come at me crazy, where they be like, you said you was gonna do this. Wait a minute, hello, good morning, how are you? let's start from the beginning. Because you're not going to mess up my joy today. I was doing that by myself. I don't need your help.
Right. I feel you.
So I'm glad that you've had these moments. I think for me, when I first started my show, I was not really sure how impactful I was going to be. And then when I started having my show, I was like, okay, people watch, I guess. But like we were saying earlier, during certain episodes, I'll get text messages or DMs from people telling me like how really impactful my show has been. When I started getting those, that's what made me go, okay, I have to keep doing this. That's what happened for me.
Me too.
It was a few moments where I was like, hey, I don't really know if I'm gonna keep doing this. And then as soon as I would say that to myself, I don't know what it was, but God would just send me somebody and they'd be like, I watched your show the other day. I really like this and that, and I'm so proud of you. And then I go, okay, all right, can't quit today. Somebody noticed me, so we got to do it again. And it just keeps going. Right. So we're going to get into this game because I really want to talk about this. This goes into like the fears and things that surround our podcast.
Right.
So I don't know about you, but I have some fears around my podcast that I never voice. Ever outside of anything, like not even on my show yet. So I went into, like you said earlier, your show's therapy. We're gonna do some therapy.
Okay, then I like that.
But it's gonna be fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give out a list of fears, and then we're gonna talk about our version of this fear, and then we're gonna talk about solutions to it right after, and we're gonna go through. I like that. Because what I don't want to do, I don't want to have a vent session where nothing comes of it. I hate those. Y'all ever get in a conversation?
Me, I always be like that. Like that's why I can't stand complainers. Like
me neither.
I never like talking about problems if I have no solution to it. Because
right.
I feel like I'm just talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm complaining about it, but the problem's still right there.
It's still sitting right in my face, and now I just wasted my breath, and I'm even more mad because I'm thinking about it.
Absolutely. I'm like, damn.
Okay, so round one of fears. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go. I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, the first one's huge. They hit us with it out the gate. Fear of failure. Boom. What's your fear of failure?
Failure.
Yeah, what would failure be for you in podcast?
Failure for me would be like that I don't reach the potential that I feel like I can reach. I feel like I have, not just in the podcast space, I feel like I have a lot of people believing in me and depending on me, and it's like I'm the chosen one. I'm the one. D, you the one out the family that's gonna be successful. You the one. What you gonna do? And it's like that's like the pressure of that. But I love it though. I love it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you, Ella, it gets to me.
It gets
to
in
me
there.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when you deal with some, crazy guests and guests just doing this. You be like, man.
Or they don't want their episode out.
Yes.
Or you be like, okay, all right.
Yes, it gets to me because it's just that pressure of trying to live up to expectations. Everybody has these high expectations of you. You be like, man, I got to live up to it. You know what I'm saying? That's like the biggest
that
fear
would be, for failure. Mine is very similar. Because I kind of get the same thing. I'm probably one of the few people that I know who's my age who's still going after their dreams. That's pressure for me because I feel like I can't fail because all of y'all stopped. Y'all stopped believing in your dream a long time ago. And so now I want to be that person that, shows people that it's okay to have a dream and it's okay for it to take longer than your 20s. And it's okay for you to continue to pursue it even though you at a big age. So that's probably for me, it's like, the failure for me would be, like you said, not reaching my potential. To me, failure is anything short of not coming on TV every day at 11 on like Fox, like dead ass. I got a very high standard of failure for me.
I like that.
So I said we got until I'm 65 years old, and if I've tried, I'm 31 right now, so that's a long fucking time of me trying.
You gonna do it.
That's what I said. I was like, there's no way after 35 years, I ain't never hit the TV stage once. That's crazy. That's
you gonna do it.
Not even it. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. But that's the fear that keeps me up That one.
Yeah,
That one's it.
I like that though.
Yeah. So for fear of failure, you are supposed to set achievable goals and celebrate your progress. So that's how you get rid of that fear of failure. Because if you have goals that you can actually reach, then you won't have a fear that you're gonna not reach them because they were easy.
Right.
You know, there was something that you knew that you could obtain. And the other thing is, once you celebrate that, you could say, "Didn't I just have a party last week for something I just accomplished?"
Right.
Okay, so I'm not failing. I can't be failing. I just celebrated something yesterday. Like, that's crazy. I can't celebrate something one day and then the next day talk about I'm failing. Like, so that is how you're supposed to get through your fear of failure.
Celebrate small wins. I like that.
Break it down. That one's hard for me. Like I said, a failure for me is not being on TV. So I gotta break them down.
Right.
I don't know what's smaller than that.
You know, it's crazy. I can really see you on TV though. I can see
you.
that though. I can really see that.
Thank you. Okay, so when my mom was in the hospital, I kept watching all these shows, and I was like, man, instead of me sitting here in the hospital with my mom, how cool would it be for her to watch me? Like, how much would that inspire her to get up or inspire all those other people sitting there who are waiting for someone who looks like me to be on TV.
Right.
There's so many young girls that fought for this, fought for seats, fought for a voice, fought for a place to sit with men, fought for a place to sit with white people, fought, you know, all of that stuff. It took a lot for Black people to be on TV.
Absolutely.
And so, like, for me, that's the goal, because I saw what having Oprah and Wendy and especially when The View came out, like things where it was just all female panels. This was crazy for me because they only gave us like fashion shows. Like all of a sudden we could do more than fashion, and I was like, finally we could talk about real things. So yeah, that's the dream.
It's gonna happen. She's speaking into the universe.
Yes, I'm gonna pull this episode right back up and I'll be like, see, I told y'all. Okay, the next fear is fear of running out of topics. Do you have that fear?
Run out of topics. Okay. So just recently, like once I started realizing, remember we talked about earlier, when I started realizing that people like when I speak on topics, speak on certain things. But for me, it's always tricky because, like I said, I don't do the gossip. I don't like talking about other people's business and stuff like that. But if I can give like game on and give knowledge on the topic, then I speak on it.
Okay.
So that's how I do it. Because I've been incorporating it because I realized people like that. More people tune in for that. So like the last, I want to say, maybe 3 or 4 episodes, I've been really kind of just incorporating topics into like some topics into my podcast.
Okay. Okay.
But for the most part, it's really about, I just kind of go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the conversation kind of goes. Share your story. Just kind of go with the flow. That's all it is. Go with the flow. Wherever the conversation leads, it leads. You know what I'm saying? I don't really try to force anything. I really just go with the flow. As long as it don't go way, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy off topic.
You know what I'm saying? No, we got to reel it back in. But my platform is for you to be yourself, express yourself, say how you feel, and get to talking.
Okay. All right. I feel you on that because I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say the solution here is to speak from your heart because, look, if you guys watch like my first few episodes, it was scripted, like where I wrote down, because I was so nervous. I wrote down like everything I wanted to say, right? And then I got to recording, and I was like, I sound like a robot. Like I sound like I'm trying to impress people. Like you ever meet somebody like that where you like, damn, can you relax a little?
You see,
relax a little bit.
I was slick like that too. I'm slim like that, but my homeboy gave me advice. He was like, man, sometimes just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Go with the flow sometimes. You ain't got to write everything down, man. Sometimes people love to talk about themselves. So sometimes when they just talking, just let them talk.
Just chill.
Let them talk. So I was like, you know what? You right.
I like that.
Tell my boy Swain for that.
What's up, Swain? Thank you for that. Because that's real. That's so real. Especially when it comes to podcasting. No one wants to listen to a podcast that sounds like fake.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch TV for that. Like, you know, there's other mediums and platforms for that.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to a podcast, people are wanting to hear real, genuine interactions. They don't want to hear something that you wrote down. They don't want that. They want a very passionate, like you said, passionate speech, something from your heart, something that's your opinion.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Even if it's completely wrong.
Even if it's wrong.
People still like this.
You can literally fight your guess that the sky is brown, and you will literally get way more views on that than anything else. The next one is fear of losing listenership. Do you feel that?
Yeah. Especially that was early on. Early on for me, I definitely fear losing listenership because I'll be like, okay. That's when I started really attacking my intro. I said, okay, I need my intro to be better. Because sometimes when because the first 5 minutes, first few minutes of like your
you
podcast,
got 60 fucking seconds.
Yeah, it's like it got to be interesting. Cause people got they just listen and they go.
They done.
So you got like you said, 15 minutes or two. You got to talk about because first when I was doing my podcast, I get into okay, where you from, and I say nah, you kind of got to stop doing that and just like kind of go. You know what I'm saying?
I ask something random as fuck, and then I ask what your name is.
Yeah. And then you can kind of get into that. You know what I'm saying? But you can't start off with that because people don't want to listen to that, man.
They don't care. I also say you gotta. I also base it off my guest's personality. Now, if I know the person that I'm about to interview already has a big personality, I know I don't have to bring that big of a personality. I just need to bring the questions. So on those interviews, I'm basically like, let me ask something outrageous so I can get your outrageous action. Like, I already know you're going to say something real loud, something real funny, something real engaging, whatever it is. So I don't have to worry about that. Now, when I know I'm about to have somebody who a little dry, I gotta do a little bit more than that. I got to come with personality. Like, I'm like, okay, let me like spice this up. Let me like come full alive on the screen so that people have something to do. Is that kind of how you do yours, or have you ever thought about doing that?
Interesting you said that though. Like you do your research, see the person's personality, how they act. For me, I kind of just go with the flow. Like when we conversate, when we talking and conversating or whatnot, it'd be like, okay, let me see how this going to go. Let me see what she's going to say, what he going to say. And then if it's good, then I just go with it. You know, I never try to force anything. So when you listen to my podcast, everything is organic. You can feel it. People say, I like your podcast because it's relatable, and you can feel like the conversation. You can feel the vulnerableness. I take pride in that too. I want people to be vulnerable on my podcast. I tell people,
you do.
Don't get up here.
You get people that open up. He really does.
Don't get up here trying to be politically correct. You
nah,
know what I'm saying?
None
Get
of
up
that.
here and say this. Like, if you feel some type of way, say it. You know what I'm saying? I might not agree with what you're saying,
but you can say
you
it.
can say it. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So that's what I really try to push. I want people to be themselves and be able to express themselves. Like the girl I talk about on my intro, RJ, she's a person, she's not very vulnerable like that. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't like being vulnerable. But for me, and me knowing that about her, me getting her on my podcast and for her to be very vulnerable like that.
Yeah, you was like, let me get her to talk.
I was like, you know, that was great. You know what I'm saying? Because she don't do that. And me knowing her, she don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But the other person, I guess somebody is vulnerable, she does that all the time. So it's just different. It's different.
Yeah, I think, so I had this one time where I was talking to somebody. Now, this is before Live Hip Hop Daily. This is before all of that. I was recording by myself. And we were talking, and every answer was real dry. And I mean dry. And now I can get people to talk. The first thing that I tell a lot of people is that I'm really good at talking. Like, when people ask me, why did you do a podcast? I'm like, I'm really good at talking. I can talk to anybody. So what else would I do? Like, but it's true. It's something I really believe in myself to do. This guy was testing my powers. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, you don't want to talk to me at all. What are you doing here? You can get up. So, like, I really mean 10 minutes in, I was like, we can stop.
For real?
I dead ass. I said we can stop because first of all, I was recording things myself, editing things myself. I was like, I don't even want to fucking watch this. So, bye. Like, and I really had to say that. That was the first time I ever stood up for myself in my show because I was like, y'all might be playing on my show, but I'm not playing on my show.
Right.
You're not finna come up here and waste my time. You're not finna come up here and waste my audience time. You not none of that, because everything that I do is very intentional. It takes time, money, and effort. So if I'm having you on my show, you better be entertaining or get the fuck off. Like, and I really mean it.
Dang, so he was completely dry for
No,
real?
dry. Like, I mean, dry. It was 15 minutes of, so hey, where you from? Atlanta. All right, what do you like to do? You know, I hang out. Okay, where? What's your favorite spot? Like, how long you been here? You know, stuff like that. Everything
2
was
years.
real. Right. And I was like, damn it.
2
You have
years.
it. I was like, do you know what I was like, I'll take a run-on sentence. Like, at this point, I will take grammatically incorrect. Like, I will take very heavy accent over what we got going on.
It's crazy how you said that. I had this guest on my podcast, right? And she was straight to the point. And tell me why some people love that episode more than the other episodes. Because in my head, I didn't like that.
You was like, damn.
I didn't like the session. I didn't like anything about that episode. Because what you said to me was kind of like, she was just straight to the point. She was straight to the point. I'm like, come on now, man. You got to, make it a little fun, make it a little interesting.
But people
like,
loved it.
People loved it, though.
Man, maybe
it was short.
Up.
It was like, I think it was like 30 minutes, like a 30 minutes episode. I was like, okay, we got through it. But then when it came out, people was like, it was good.
Maybe I fucked up.
I said, well, maybe I'm in my own head. Well, maybe what I realized also, too, is being in the moment, too. Sometimes you may not like something in that moment, but people can't tell, like, what's really going on in that moment. From the outside looking in, people don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Because the vibe, I didn't really like the vibe of that conversation, really. I really didn't. And it was, in my early episodes, I'm not going to name no names.
That's all right.
Y'all
go back and go find that episode.
I can find them about 34, 35 minutes. I think it's episode maybe 16,
Don't get too
17.
many hints to go find it.
That's my dog, though. She knows she is. But, so, you know what I'm saying? But I realized that it's different when you actually in the moment.
It is.
Because you cannot like the moment you have with somebody, but for somebody else, they could be like,
they might love it.
Love it.
That's very true. I've also noticed everybody's personality isn't for me. And so since my show isn't just for me, then I just need to let them have whatever their personality is. Like, I might look at them like, man, I would never hang out with you. But some other people might be like, wow, that's my favorite person. I'm glad you had them on. So, yeah, I feel you. I also realized that there's a way to do this without being rude, and there's a way to talk to people that you might not necessarily get along with, but you can have them on your show. I've had to learn how to finesse my relationships with people through this. Some people I met with this show where I'm like, I want to continue to see you. Like, if you have something going on, I'll be a part of it, that type of thing. And some other people where I'm like, I'm just glad you came. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay. How do you not take it personal, though? Like, how do you not take it personal?
How do I not take it personal? Like, when, like,
because you put your blood, sweat, and tears into your podcast, so sometimes it'd be hard not to take it personal when things doesn't go right. Like, how do you just turn it on, turn it off?
I got a fuck it attitude about 6 months into this thing. When I'll say for real, like, having this show at Live Hip Hop Daily has been probably the best training that I could ever have, because I had to bring a show. I mean, you see what I'm here. Like, I can't bring nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't come here with nothing. So this is the first time where I had to tell myself, girl, you have to show up. So it got to a point where it was like, I showed up. I had to really stop caring about how the other person showed up. Because at the end of the day, this is my show.
Right.
It's my show. So if the show is terrible, then it's my fault that I didn't get up here and cut the cameras. It's my fault that I didn't change it to a game. It's my fault that I didn't change the direction, or I didn't tell this person, thank you for your time, we're going to move on to something else. It's my fault. This is my environment. This is my queendom. This is my space. This is what I built. And if I'm not able to be okay with what I built, then how is anybody else going to be okay with that? So that's how I started doing it. I started saying, this is not for y'all. You can show up or not show up. You can enjoy yourself or not enjoy yourself. But what I will do is give you a show. I'm going to give you that opportunity that I said I'm going to give you, because that's what I said I was going to do. And if I had given them that, then fuck it. after that, I had to start going, well, it's another episode under the belt and move on to the next one. Like, I just had to start going, I just can't care about y'all like that for real. Like, because like you said, I do put my entire all into this.
Yeah, me too. So it'd be a struggle with that.
Especially when people don't show up. They don't show up, or they late as fuck, or it's a lot of things. I've had to deal with a lot of things, or they cancel on you last minute.
That's
you
part
all
of
set up.
That's part of frustration.
Yeah, we about to move. We about to do it. We about to move to the next one.
That's some frustration right there, boy. Hey,
I know.
You going on the whole list? I'm like, check. Check.
Because these are real, and it's real because I think people, when they see a podcast, they just think people just get up there. Now, granted, there are some shows where some people do just get up there, but you need to understand everybody's show's not like that. Not everybody's show is ran by a team of 15 people and they just show up. Sometimes that one person is 15 people. Sometimes it really is what they do from 5 to 10 p.m. at night every fucking day. That's my schedule. I don't know about you. So it's like, yeah, don't play with me. So I had to start saying, I don't play with me. So then when I started picking my guests, like, don't play with me. I started having a cancellation policy in I don't put it out there because I want everybody to, I want to still be able to be flexible if I need to. But really, if you cancel on me and there's no like notice and it's the day of and you just decide that you can't show up, no, because this shit happens. Like, a lot of times people really do just be like, an out, like you checked in on them the day before, they said it's cool, they come in and it's the hour before and you call them like, hey, what's up, I'm getting everything ready for you, and they like, so I can't go, I'm at work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Oh, please believe you don't get another chance. There's no more chances. And what I really hate is when they go, can we reschedule? No, that's it. Have a good day. And I always do that. I always say, no, I hope you have a good day. And that's literally the end of the conversation. And a lot of times, those be the same people checking my stories, same people trying to comment, same people coming back. Do you have openings? Not for you. I don't. Because I had to go. You didn't take me seriously.
I need to get like you.
You need boundaries. Don't be like me. I'm rude sometimes. But no, like for real, I had to get some boundaries because people were playing with me. People were going, oh, I'll be there. Oh no, I might go next week. So then I'm sitting there, I'm trying to plan my month out that I paid for. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting money in, I'm putting time in. And now I gotta go, well, no one's gonna be there on the 15th, but she wants to come on the 15th now. So okay, like I have to redo this whole schedule, rearrange all the other people I had just for you who might show up this time. The next time you might show up because all the people who I've ever rescheduled don't actually ever come. They never come. They weren't planning on coming. That reschedule was to be nice to you for not saying no. Fuck you. I'll tell you no. The answer's no. You should start asking people who canceled on you. You should start being like, hey,
did you really want to come?
Right. Did you? You could have just, you could have just told me
I'm going to do that.
You like me like that.
I'm going to do that for sure. I'm there for sure.
Okay, we're going to go to round 2. We're going to do frustrations because we did a lot of them.
Off rip.
Okay, here's the number one frustration for podcasters. It is consistently producing new episodes.
Absolutely. Being consistent. I think we talked about this earlier.
Yeah, what's your frustration with it?
Being consistent. I can't afford. I have to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? People still getting to know me, growing to know me. So I have no choice but to be consistent. Thank y'all to the people who always tell me I'm consistent. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. But I have no choice. My name ain't as big as other people. So I have no choice but to continue to put stuff out there. You got to keep stuff in people's face. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it in their face. People have a short attention span. They'll look at it. Next. Next. You're like, damn. I put some real time and thought into this content, to this clip. You just gonna go past my
boom! It's so fast too. I'd be like, average watch time 6 seconds. Fuck.
Yes.
Fuck.
But then
how do I talk to y'all in 6 seconds?
I took a page out your book. I realized what you started doing. You started doing shorter clips.
Oh, had to.
I do shorter clips too now. I do shorter clips. and I just add my song for the rest.
Okay, yeah.
So I took that from you. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. No, yes, I love it.
I took that from you.
No, I took all my branding stuff from you, like having this stuff here and like rechanging, because the way your set is very. You could tell it's a one thought, like it's a cohesive thought. At the time when I first started, I didn't really feel like I had that type of set, and then when I went to your place, I went to another girl's. I went to Queen's podcast. Shout out to her too, and both of y'all had sets, like very, very well thought out sets, and I was like, I done put a banner up. Like, damn, they really branded themselves. So I said, okay, let me start branding myself. So that was from you.
Because I want you to see this. You know what I'm saying? I want you to see this logo. When you go around, you notice it.
Yeah.
Like the McDonald's symbol, Burger King, Wendy's. When you see it, you ain't gotta have McDonald's right there.
Yeah,
you
but
see
you
that
know
logo,
it.
you see it. Nike, even with Nike.
I feel you.
I want you gonna remember this logo.
I got you. We're gonna come out with some bossy shirts. It's gonna be every single time, y'all. I got some stuff coming. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. But yes, consistently putting out content. It's just content. Not even the podcast itself. All the other shit about the fact that I had a podcast. All the clips, all the intros, all the behind the scenes, all the stories, all the shit on every platform: YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, my website, all these places that y'all don't even check. Half of y'all don't even check, but I have it. I have it. And I just really had to say that.
At least you're honest.
I had to say that because I was like, you know what? One day when y'all do like binge watch me, and when y'all actually take the time, you're gonna see that I've been the GOAT. And I've been acting and operating as the GOAT the whole time. Y'all just didn't watch. Y'all didn't go to the place. Okay, the next frustration would be finding and booking guests. How is that for you?
It's more of, I told you, for me, it's more of a spirit thing. If my spirit tells me to get you, then I get you.
Wow.
That's how I go. I go through people's pages and I see what you got going on, see what type of motion you got going on, what you're doing. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, if the spirit say this would be a good guest, be a good guest, like Then it depends on what you do. I look at that to see what you're about, to see, okay, I kind of like you. Let me ask you, let me reach out to you. And then I get them on, and most of the time I feel like I pick really good guests, you know what I'm saying?
Great guests.
In conversations and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was so when you look for a guest, what's like one thing that makes you go, this is gonna be a good one?
That's a good question. Personality. How they express themselves. Are they passionate? I love passionate people because I'm passionate about what I do. How passionate are you about your project and whatever you're doing? I look for that. That's the number one thing I look for. Okay, she passionate about music. She passionate about fashion. She passionate about videography. She passionate about content creating. Is she passionate?
Or she do this sometimes.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I get you. So that's the number one thing.
I feel you. I look for consistency as well, because I'm like, if I'm on here every week, I'm gonna need to see you on here every week, because I don't let me. We could put this in a fear and frustration type thing. As my biggest fear, frustration would be to put somebody out, have an entire conversation like we're having right now, and then you don't put out another podcast episode. Then what? Wasting my fucking time.
Oh, so that really happened to you?
No, that has happened.
Oh.
Like before I got here, no. When I got here and I was like, no, I'm live. Hell no, y'all not finna embarrass me on live TV like that. you got me fucked up.
You ain't going out bad no more ever.
No. But when I was recording myself, I had a few of those where they would be like, oh, I have this business, I do this thing, I'm blah blah blah, and I go post them, and then 2 months later, somebody's like, what? I watched your episode and I tried to talk to them. They told me they don't do that anymore. And I said, oh, then the fuck, what is this episode doing up? What are we going to do with this? I have a waste of an hour because who am I promoting in this moment? Like, I'm trying to have evergreen material. Like, I'm trying to have it, because Pete, you've been here last year. You came back. You still have a podcast. You can come back next year if you still have a podcast. As long as you still have something going on, I'm always going to want to support it. It's when people say they do stuff and then don't finish it. Like, we all have stuff happening. We all have things going on. But you can't want to be promoted and then people promote you and then you quit. Like it's frustrating for the small podcast.
And that's part of the frustration too. Part I will go into about people don't understand you have a personal life going on. Trying to when you have personal stuff going on, right? And you're trying to podcast and trying to talk to people. That can be really, 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 really tough. You know what I'm saying? Because you have some real personal stuff going on. You're trying to interview, engage, smile.
Trying
you know what I'm saying? But the back of your head, you like, man, I want to get the hell
out of here.
Exactly. I gotta get the hell on, man. You be thinking about that, and that's real tough. That's the thing that I don't think people understand about podcasting too, is that you really be going through life be life, and then you still gotta, like you said, be consistent. Put out material, dude. Even when you don't feel like, even when you're uncomfortable. I've done interviews with people, and I'm going through one of the worst situations possible. But I still made it seem good, and people would never know.
Never. And I say that all the time. I'm like, guys, my mom is in the hospital. Y'all can't tell in those episodes. There's been so many times where I've gone through a lot of like big things, and I was like, well, I have to do my show. I also think, as a lady, I have times in the month. Sometimes I don't want to be here. And that's just real. This is a real thing, and I don't think, unless we talk about stuff like that, people are never really gonna know, oh, she's actually a person. She's not a robot who could just sit up here and entertain you all the time. Sometimes shit be going on in your life. Sometimes a lot of shit be going on in your life. We were talking about this earlier, where you start venting on your guests. Y'all done seen some of those episodes where I would be like, can we have a therapy session, please? I need a moment with you. You just need to have a moment. I need you to talk me through this. I don't know what to do. I did that so many times, y'all, but it's helped. And the reason why I love having my show, and I don't know if you use this as well, but when I do have a frustration, a lot of times the person sitting next to me either is new, so they can give me a new perspective, like a fresh idea, that type of thing, or they've been there before and they can say, honey, this is normal, you know what I'm saying, and they get me through it. Or they can just relate. And sometimes just having somebody just understand, I have marketing issues too, I feel you. Sometimes that's just like, okay, cool, I'm not the only person out here with problems.
When I'm going through my frustrations, for me is, like I said, every time I interview somebody, it always leads to the conversation. But when I'm going through, I had that argument with my family member or something. Next thing I feel some type of way about it, and then conversation with a guest, it always leads to that. Always lead. I'm like, man, yes. Let me go ahead and tell you what's going on. And I said, I don't never tell the whole situation, but I just tell the point where you get it, the lesson in it. You know what I'm saying? This is why you don't do this.
You ever figure out your lessons during your episode? While you in the middle of talking about your frustration, and you in the middle of talking about it, for real, you really heated, and then you say something, you be like, damn, that's the answer.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. I
love those moments, because I'd be like, thank you for just, damn it, no one was going to listen to me, and I had to force you to be here.
Right, yeah.
For this moment. But I love those clarity moments, and that's another reason why I love having this show, is because a lot of times if I do have a frustration, I'm like, damn, I have a marketing problem. What do you do for marketing? Normally, that person has done something that I've never done. They've achieved something that I haven't achieved yet, or have motion in a space that I don't have motion in. So I've always been able to be like, I feel better now. Thank you for that moment. Thank you for allowing me to be real on this platform with you. Allow me to vent and tell you my problems. Talk about my family issues.
Right. And that's why you're going to be successful, Ella, because you're a student of the game. You can be taught. You can be taught. People can tell you stuff. You win to ask questions. You're not stubborn. You think you know it all. You win to be taught. You win to listen. That's important. Yeah. And that's how you can always tell, too, if somebody going to go far or somebody you're going to be stuck in the same spot. Because it's if you going to listen or you not. You know what I'm saying? Some people have been farther than others. You know what I'm saying? But you always willing to listen. Like you said, how can you help me on the marketing tip? What do you do? How do you do this? Those type of questions that you be asking are real. That's real shit. You always got to be a student in the game. I always tell people that stop coming in the game or whatever you're doing thinking that, okay, this is what it is. I'm gonna do this, and I don't care what you got going on. Like, look at the people who are successful, or the people who are doing something that you're not doing. So you have that mentality. I love that about you.
Thank you. I love what you were saying earlier. You do something very similar. You watch other people's podcasts, and you like to see how do they keep people listening, how do they keep people engaged, how did they make me watch this long.
What's
we were
entertaining about it?
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking about that. You only get 60 seconds to get somebody in there. So I'm like, why am I watching this whole episode of this podcast? And a lot of times I'm like, okay, it might be the guest, or it might be the camaraderie between those two, or maybe it's the jokes, or maybe it's the topic, or it could be a whole bunch of different things. But I'm always learning, okay, there's a new way to present something. There's a new way to talk about a subject, to bring something up, to get people comfortable, whatever it is.
Absolutely, because that's why I really, like you said, those people, we talked about, a lot of those, like I said, with the Joe Buttons, the Shannon Sharps, and academics, but just a bunch of the males figures. A lot of the times, like I said, they are popular because they are strongly opinionated. They give like
the
real strong opinions. Women too.
Yeah.
They give like real strong opinions, and you may not always agree with what they say, but you be like, man, he really believes what he said.
Exactly.
He believe that shit, but so it may be true, it may not be true. So
do you know what had me really, really go, okay, that's what a podcast is for? Don't call me white girl. Let me tell you, the first time I saw a clip of her, she said the most gutted shit I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, females should not talk like that. What did you say? Why are you so rough? Right. But that was her being her. Right. And what I love about her show is she is her. And what I realized is that to really pop off in a podcast, you have to show up authentically, top to bottom. And like you said, give that opinion that you're like, well, I don't really give a damn if it's wrong. This is me and this is my opinion and it's my show, so this is the opinion we're going to give. And I was like, the more I tap into that, like you said, your last few episodes, I've been trying to say just more helpful things, more things that I know that people are actually trying to hear, and not some keywords. Because, everybody says the same thing. Well, you just find your audience. What the fuck does that mean? Please explain. Go into more detail, because I know you didn't get on my show just to say, find your audience. Okay, how do we do that? Because a lot of us have heard that. I'm still trying to find my audience.
Exactly, me too.
So it'd be like, okay, so for some of us, that step is 3 years. For some people, it's 2 months. Okay. All right, let's figure that out. But yeah, so it's that type of thing where it's like, I don't know, I'm looking at all of this as a learning curve, and I'm going to get through it. So now that we talked about our frustrations, we got to bring it to desires, because we're going to end this on a good tip. We're going to talk about where we want to be. We're going to talk about all the stuff that bothered us and things that we're scared of. But what is your desire? So what would a loyal and engaged audience look like to you?
Loyal and let me see. More likes, more comments, more subscribers, more.
Do you have a number? Because you can't just say more. Do you have a goal where you're like, okay, I'm content once I get to this size audience?
I mean, content.
You're right. That word is weird.
I like the word content, because I feel like you're basically saying that you're comfortable being where you at. I just sometimes.
I think we all need an enough line.
I just like to just. Sometimes, like you said, just continue to grow. Like,
okay.
To me, slow motion is better than no motion at all, right? As long as you consistently growing, as long as I'm seeing my audience consistently grow, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'll be fine with that. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm elevating, I'm not going down.
Okay.
I'm not staying right here. Like, I'm going up slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying?
Like, as long as there's some motion.
Yeah, some motion. You know what I'm saying? Like you said,
Okay.
I just figured out, like we talked about earlier, what works for me, what people like to see from me, and I've been doing this about almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in June. I realized that within the last 3 or 4 weeks, a month ago.
Wow.
I said, wow, because I started looking at, because, you put me on with the YouTube Shorts. I had no idea about that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then, so
got me a lot of my subscribers.
Yeah, so when I started doing that, I started realizing, like, okay, people like when I talk about this. People like when I, give my thoughts on this, give my opinion on music and sports. Because that's one thing I could talk forever. I'm very passionate about music and sports. I grew up in it. My family grew up in it. I love it. I love those things. I'm very educated on it. When I give my opinion on it stuff, I'm not talking about the side of my neck. Trust me, I know
you
the
know
hell
exactly
I'm talking
what you're talking about.
I do my research. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, I just love those two things I can talk about. And I realize when I talk about those things, people love that. So I start trying to figure out a way to incorporate it into my podcast without it feeling like I'm kind of just scripted to it in a sense.
Okay.
Make it feel more organic.
I was gonna say, so lately I've been thinking, there are, because I have topics like that too, where I'm super knowledgeable on and can talk forever on, right? But that's not what my podcast is surrounded around. So then I was like, am I in the right space? Should I do another type of show? Should I? Did I pick a subject that, of course, I'm not really gonna pop off with because it's not where my personality at? So I had a question. Like that was definitely, that's been happening to me lately. Is going, now you're really interested in some topics, but not all of them. Should you really be talking to all entrepreneurs, or should you just be talking to entrepreneurs in a certain space? I was like, So then I was like, maybe you need to rethink how you do this, because I realized certain episodes super passionate about, other episodes I'm like, all right, those episodes don't have that many views. The ones where I'm like really engaged, tons of views. So I don't know. I'm gonna ask you that question. Like, if you want, you should probably do like 6 episodes of like your favorite sport or something or whatever you've seen the most views on, and test it. And if you get more views on that, I would say you also do Put You On Game, but then like put it towards so you can get an audience, because an audience is more important than what you're fucking saying. I'm gonna be really, really honest. It's more important than anything. Because right now, if I had 100,000 followers, I could say whatever the fuck I wanted. It really would not matter. Like it wouldn't matter because I had 100,000 followers. I was still gonna get sponsors. I'm still gonna get opportunities and all this other shit because of the number, right? It's the number. People care about the audience, so it doesn't matter what's behind that at first. I also realized that some of our passion projects might not be our paid projects, and I had to start being okay with that. But that's just me. That's how I'm thinking about my podcast.
I'm listening. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm like, maybe I'm on the right track, but maybe I haven't niched it down far enough. So I'm gonna challenge you on that. So maybe if sports is really your thing, maybe we should do a podcast on something that's really your thing.
My mama has, it's crazy how you said it. My mama said the same thing. Similar.
See, all right, I'm on the right track.
She's talking about that. I like, for me, I feel like I like a challenge.
Me too. We're masochists.
Right. Those are 2 things I know I can talk about in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking about it for a long time, watching it for a long time, played some too. So I just know it, you know what I'm saying? But other things I don't really know. So interviewing these people I'm not really passionate about. But by you being passionate about it, you made me passionate about it, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
That's how I be.
I'm like that very much too, because I was like, I like doing this because I've never done it before and because I kind of suck at it. Like I like doing this because I suck at it. And that sounds crazy.
Interesting.
But I like doing it because I'm bad at it, because I want to be good at it. So I'm going to keep doing it until I'm good at it. I really, honestly, I just had my epiphany moment right there where I was just like, oh shit, this is why I do it. I do it because I want to be good at it. And I'm like, as long as that takes. It's kind of like me saying I want to do a headstand. I don't fucking know how many yoga exercises I got to do, how many times I got to attempt it. But one day, I like to be upside down. Same thing. I feel like one day I'm going to just wake up and be good at this shit. So that's why I do it. That's
I like that.
I'm trying to keep it there. We're going to keep it there. Another desire. We talked about this last time, but do you have any influential guests that you want on your shows, or anybody that you're like, ooh, if I could have one person on my show, who would
Like
be?
dream guest?
Yeah, dream guest for you.
Could it be? I'm finna say dead or alive.
I mean, we could do dead or alive, but
Okay,
if
well,
they're dead,
alive,
unless you
alive,
get a medium,
okay,
there's no way to have that episode. Alive then.
Okay, alive. Deion Sanders.
Oh, that's a good one.
Deion Sanders.
I can see that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Simple fact, because I like what he stands for and what he represents.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna snip this
his
for
message.
you.
I love his message.
Yeah.
I love how his whole mission is to lead young men, raise these young men who's been through all this stuff and turn them into great men. I just like his overall message and just I like it. That's part of some of my quotes that do not allow my confidence to offend insecurity. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
So I put them back in my shirt. I like that.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's the question you would ask him? If he was sitting right here, like if I'm Deion Sanders, what would you guys?
How did you get? How did my question would be? Dang, it's the only question coming to my head. I want to be a football question. It would more be a life question. Like, where does that wisdom come from? For me, like, how did you just become this way? You know what I'm saying? Like, what led you? What was the moment that led you into where you at now? You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a
inspirational
turning point,
speaker,
you know
to be full. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you on that one. I'm trying to think. What would be? Cause I always said that I didn't have no like real guests that I would really want, but I was thinking about it. And since I had Tamika here, I think it could really happen. I went to talk to Issa Rae. So for real,
a lot of people like Issa Rae.
I love her. Love her. I'm gonna be honest. I have not seen Insecure, but I love Issa Rae. And this is now. Don't make that face, H.
How you not see Insecure?
Now the reason why I said what I said is because
you see like her biggest.
Okay,
fans.
no, it's the same thing with Quinta, right? Or the person who does Abbott Elementary. There are some people who make content that shake the world. Issa Rae is one of them people. The fact that the content that you make has become staples in Black communities is insane to me, because we haven't had staples in Black communities since Fresh Prince. You know, I'm talking about like 90s. Talking about that very first episode of Love and Hip Hop. Like, you know, I'm talking about like, I'm talking about Scandal, and then even that is like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's very, very small moments where like TV has shaken Black culture. Issa Rae did that in modern time, and she did it as a Black woman. That's insane to me. I want to talk to her about that. And I want to talk, and I've seen a lot of her interviews about how she kept going, and she networked sideways, like laterally instead of up. And so when she got up, everybody with her came up because she had already had a team. So it wasn't like, oh, well, we need to get you a room full of writers. She already had a room full of writers. Oh, well, we need to get you everything she needed, she already had. She just needed the network, right? The attention. So it's very inspirational to me how she did that. I was like, I don't even want to talk to you about your shows. I want to talk about your business and how you built your production company and how you got like wine deals, and you the shit to me. Like, I want to talk about that. I don't really care about your show. And then from me just saying that, I realized there's gonna be a lot of people who never see my show but love me. And I said, so then, okay, it's not going to matter what content I produce. It's my audience. That's what I meant by that. I love Issa Rae, never watched a single Issa Rae thing, but it does not matter. I know exactly who she is, what she does, what she has produced. I just never watched it. Who cares? Same person.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I guarantee you if I watch her stuff, I'll probably be a bigger fan. So, this is good for y'all. Right. So that's mine. If I had her here, I feel like it would be a good time. I would love her awkwardness because I'm pretty awkward too. Okay, what is monetizing your podcast? What's your desire for that? Are you trying to live off your podcast? Or are you trying to just have, okay.
I'm trying to live on my podcast. Absolutely.
Say it louder.
I'm definitely trying to live off my podcast. Definitely trying to live off my podcast. Trying to get rid of these jobs.
Right.
For real.
We're done with the jobs. I'm trying to live on my podcast too. Absolutely. I feel you.
Because I want to do something that just feed my soul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And these jobs don't feed my soul. I don't. When I get up in the morning, I don't be like ready
excited
to go. You know
that,
what I'm saying? But when I'm finna interview somebody, I be excited. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nervous too, because I don't know how I can go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you get up,
excited,
you get things ready, you set your stuff up, you really be intentional with what you're about to do. I'm not intentional at all with my job. I just wake up and go get it.
Me too. Me too.
So I feel like it's the same. It's different when it's what you really want to do. Because when it's showtime, like I said, I could be going through some shit. I'm still going to show up and do my podcast. Right. It's crazy. Because if somebody asked me to do this at my job, I'd be like, calling off today. Exactly. I'm calling off today. It was a lot of times where I wanted to call off and didn't because I love it. I love what I'm doing.
Me too.
I feel you on that.
And that'd be a challenge too, like we talked about. That's a challenge. When you're going through something, and then you got to still come up here and interview somebody.
And still be great.
And still be great.
I still be thinking about like, okay, what if this is the episode where I do get monetized? So it can't be crap. Like I can't show up here like sorta. Like what if this is my chance? Like I have a lot of those what if moments. A lot of what if I try one more time? That's kind of how I do it. It's like, what if I try one more time? Where could I be? Right. And a lot of times, I'm a little further. But see, I'm not like you. You have this whole, okay, it's cool if I grow steady. I just don't have that. I don't have that at all. I'm trying to be famous tomorrow.
Because patience. I have a lot of patience.
Okay. Now tell me, how do you get some of that? Please explain.
That's a good question. I really do not know.
You gotta try.
I really do not know. Like, how did I go so patient? I don't know. I just realized success doesn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. Different success stories. Seeing everybody, the success story is different. You know what I'm saying? Looking at this, looking at that, looking at one of my favorite success stories, 2 Chainz. You know, 2 Chainz. You know, he just started popping in his late 30s. It took him a minute to like get on. You know, he had Death a Bad Boy. Yeah. But after that, he just went down. You know what I'm saying? Then he came back up, but it took him years. Like, you know what I'm saying, for him to really get to where he wanted to be. And it's like you said, he was in his late 30s, finna be 40. So it's like, wow, it took him that long. You know what I'm saying, to get where he, okay, it just takes time. But he didn't stop.
Yeah, that's very true.
He didn't stop though.
He could have still been Duff a Bad Boy. Yeah, right.
He didn't stop. So it's like, for me, it's like, okay, I got to keep going. Just as long as I'm growing, as long as I'm pushing out, being my best. Hey, something gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I would tell people, you could try a million times. You don't have to be right once. You don't have to be right one time. True. We could be wrong a million times. We could be wrong, do this. That one time you be right, it could change your life.
That's how I started being able to just freely put out content. I used to be real nervous and real like particular about what I was gonna put out. I stopped doing that because I was like, you know what? I don't fucking know. Right. You could like this or not. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm gonna put it out there. You don't like it? Cool. I got some more shit for you. I did a whole hour, so I got a lot of 10 seconds. Right. You don't like that 10 seconds? I'm gonna give you this 10 seconds. You don't like that 10 seconds? Here's another 10 seconds, and so it's all in the same episode.
What went into you to make it shorter clips?
Ooh, analytics. Cause that's what I do. So that's my actual business. It's the entrepreneur and my entrepreneur-ish. I do customer analytics. And so what I look at every day is, why do people keep coming back to your brand? So I do the same thing. I run the same type of analysis with my own brand. And I guess maybe that's why I'm a little anal about how I do things, is because I'm not hitting my numbers. The same way I would have been like, if I was my own client, I would have fired me a long time ago because the numbers not hit. So that's why I'd be frustrated. But I kept looking, and what I always do, I'll do it right now, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. I go to my YouTube studio. And if y'all don't have YouTube Studio on your phone, I don't know what you're doing. I go to my latest short, and you can see, I open it up, and it'll show me average percentage viewed. And if that thing is not over 50%, it's a dud. It's a dud. So I look at the video and I sit there and I see, okay, they only watched half of it. How long was this? This was 30 seconds. Well, then fuck. If they're only going to watch half, my next thing has to be 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. So then I had to start. Then I was like, okay, let's do an experiment. Let's just do a whole bunch of 15-second clips. All those clips went off. And it was because they were 15 seconds. Mm. And so then after those clips started doing well, I started looking at, okay, how many clips were saved or sent to somebody? Because then that meant it was relevant. Mm-hmm. So the ones that were saved the most or sent to people the most were the ones that I tried to duplicate. So then after that, it's just a trial and error on that one, where it's like, I'm like, okay, we got whatever number we got. So out of the people who did watch it, okay, what do they like about it? Also, I had to stop looking at the volume of people because Instagram has tips and tricks. So I would also say all of these websites have these like webinars and things like that. Go to those. Go to them. They're free, and your platform will tell you how to do well on your platform. So like YouTube has them, Spotify has them. Spotify has a lot of them. So definitely check them out. But they'll have like influencers come and they'll explain to the influencer how to get better at their craft. So Spotify is one I listen to a lot because it's a lot of podcasters on there. Mm-hmm. But they'll explain like Spotify rewards you if you get up to this number of viewers. So then I'm like, okay, so I need to hit 100, and then they'll push me automatically. So that's how I look at it. I do, like, when we say research, time, effort in my podcast, it's a lot of that. A lot of mine is number-wise, how can I get my podcast to where if I went to a client, I could be like, you have to invest. You have to. You have no choice but to invest money into being a part of this. Right. Because that's basically what we're going to have to do when it is sponsor time. Is go around and explain why you would want to spend money with me and not some other podcast.
Right. That's true.
So that's how I do it. I'm like, every day I'm trying to be like, from the numbers, this is why you would choose me. And then I'm like, okay, well, we got to fix those numbers because I don't like them. So I'll move them up. And then once I hit my goal, that's when I start reaching out to people in that certain bracket. Because I'm like, okay, these people kind of have a similar audience to me, so this is impressive to them. I never go to somebody who has 1 million views and ask them, no, because I don't have that. I'm not impressive at all to you. Right. But, like, if I go to somebody who might have 500 subscribers and I have 700, I look impressive, right? Mm-hmm. They want some of my audience. That's how I do it. Mm. Then I ask them for sponsorship because they need me. I can't ask somebody who has more followers than me to give me money. And they'll be like, why? Right. Like, I'm doing this better than you. How are you going to help me? So that's how I think about it.
Okay. I'm listening too. I'm taking mental notes.
Mine is very scientific. I'm like, I can't wait because, you know, originally when I started, I wasn't going to do much on my own podcast. I was going to help other people. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, no, let me focus on me for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to start trying to do a little bit of both. I have a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about and, you know, give some knowledge on from, like you said, 2 years. You probably have stuff, too, where you're like, now learn something. What's your thing that you learned? Because mine was analytics. What was your thing that you've learned from podcasting for 2 years?
I talked about intro, being better on my intro, stuff like that, incorporating topics into my podcast, topics that I could really be, you know, passionate about and get my opinion on. And I do look at some of the analytics because that's what it came into for me. Analytics, I said, okay, this is what people
now watch the numbers because that's what Instagram watch.
This is what people are looking at right here. People like this. So you know what? Let me just go ahead.
Support it.
Let me do some more of these. Because I actually like that. I like having those debates with people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't debate with Stans. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Stans, stay away from me. I'm not gonna debate with you. I'm gonna read what you said. And I'm gonna just leave it on red.
What do you mean by that? What?
Because stands can't be objective.
Okay. You
see what I'm saying? If you're a stand to somebody, you can't be objective. So I'm not gonna argue with you because that means you come into the argument already.
Not even open-minded.
Yeah, not open-minded. Already,
I
this is what it is. So I'm like, okay, I'm not finna do that.
Okay,
I'm like, you got it. Hey, have a good day. You know what I'm saying? Stay for you. But if you're a fan, you can be objective. We can have an honest conversation back and forth.
I got you.
Even if you still don't come to this side, you're going to respect
That's
my
all right.
side. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to at least listen a little bit.
Facts.
Okay. So since you were talking about like last little things, last thing is branding. I know you have your logo and you do a lot of branding. This is what I learned from you. What's your branding desires like? Because you've actually done a lot. You branded like everything. You have candles. He's got glasses. Whatever you want, it has put you on game on it. Okay.
You're gonna know this logo when you see it. You're gonna know it.
What's the next thing you want to do with your brand?
Just want to like continue to grow, be on more stuff, more merch. Just want to see it grow. You know what I'm saying? I want people to recognize it. Like when you see that logo, oh, I know what that is. You
Okay.
Know, PutYouOnGame. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I watched a few of his episodes. I've seen some of his episodes, such and such.
Okay.
I just want people to recognize me and recognize the logo when you see it. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing for me.
Okay.
I want this to be embedded in your head. That's why I show it. I'm always wearing it. And I'm like, why am I wearing all these other folks' clothes? Let me just wear my stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I like that.
I'm show up with my stuff on. I ain't finna show up these folks already got a lot of people wearing this today. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna start something. I feel you.
So let me just wear everywhere I go. I wear this. I went to the Hawks game yesterday. Wore my merch. So I'm always just gonna wear it everywhere I go. Especially where I know a lot of people gonna be at.
Yeah, because then did anybody ask you about it?
A few people.
Yeah.
A few people.
See, I'd be like,
they really like the quotes on the back.
See,
people
that's what
really love that.
See, and that's what I was also saying. It also gives you a chance for you to understand, okay, what value do I bring with this merch? You're like, okay, so I can never take the quotes off the back because this is what people like. You know, that type of thing.
Because my whole podcast is purposeful. You see what I'm saying? It means something. I'm not just putting out, talking about bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We actually talk about some real shit. Deep conversations. You know what I'm saying? So those logos, everything is all me represents who I am as a person as well. So I take pride in this shit.
Okay. What else do you want the bosses to know? Because we're almost out of time. What's about Put You On Game that they don't know yet?
Don't know yet. The intro's already out. Stay tuned. More episodes are coming. Photo shoot coming too. I got a photo shoot coming. I don't think I ever announced that. So you get an exclusive.
Oh, I got an
photo
exclusive.
shoot coming too. Photo shoot coming. And that's really it. Just stay tuned to me, man. Stay tuned. Yeah. More episodes, more vibes, more dope people.
When do you
more
post?
Real conversations.
What days?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wow. You post a lot.
Those are the days I try to, I try to.
No, I meant like post your episode.
Schedule. Oh, my episodes. Oh, Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. Okay, so that they can tune in. Gotcha.
Friday and Saturday. Yes, sir. Gotcha. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed our game. It was kind of cool. It got us a little deep into some things. Like I didn't even mention all of the fears and frustrations because I was like, we're not gonna get into the desire. Another one is frustration is handling criticism or negative feedback.
I speak on that a lot too.
Standing out in a saturated market. Let me tell you. That's the problem right there. That's a whole podcast episode in itself because it's so many podcasts that sometimes I do feel like, why would they watch mine over somebody else's? And then, like I said, that's why I focus so much on my analytics and what separates me from the crowd because I'm like, it is saturated, but they don't have nothing on my show.
You know what separates you though?
What?
Passion.
I like that. I'm gonna start saying that.
Passion.
When I'm pitching, I'm gonna be like, it's passion, y'all. It's passion.
You can be wrong now.
Who cares? I was about to say, the thing is,
but
I can't be wrong because they're gonna see it. They're gonna know immediately how much I care about it. But if you believe in what you're saying and you really talking about it and you expressing yourself, people like that type of stuff, man. That's
they do.
True.
They like that.
That's
So passion will separate you.
Okay.
Loving what you do.
Thank you. You too. Keep doing it because I love that your podcast is purposeful. A lot of people just start them, and that is not something that you did.
Just
you really took the time,
exactly,
just talk about some stuff, and it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of those. I don't want to listen to that. I'm very glad that you crafted something. I think that is hard because you're asking people to look at something that you made.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but I'm proud of you for being consistent to keep going.
That.
Keep
Thank
going
you.
though. I know that consistency is a pain in the ass, but you gotta do it.
It is. I'm gonna definitely keep going, man. I really appreciate the love. I appreciate you bringing me back on here, man. Thank you so much. I really love what you're doing. I'm watching you. I'm telling you. I watch you all the time, looking at all your clips, everything you put out. Let me see what Ella put out. See what Ella put out. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it more of a competition thing.
Nah, but it's motivating.
Like,
nah, I feel
absolutely.
you. I feel you.
Inspiring. Let me see what she's doing different. Let me see. Okay, so maybe I need to incorporate this. Maybe I need to do something different.
I do the same thing because I'm like, oh, okay, he got a theme song. I said I was going to do a theme song. I never followed up on that. Let me get one. Like, it's that type of things where it's like,
that was just me being creative. I ain't gonna lie.
No, but it's good. You being creative. What I've noticed, you doing things that you said that you were gonna do makes other people do the things that they said that they were gonna do.
Right.
Just because you did it. Not. You don't even have to have a conversation with nobody. You don't have to do nothing but just tell people that you did something, and you influence them.
Right.
You're gonna make them go look at their own lives and go, I can accomplish some of my things too. This is a regular person. I'm a regular person. Let me go after it.
Absolutely.
So, keep achieving, do everything, and post it. And then I promise you, you are inspiring somebody. You're inspiring somebody. All right, last time with your socials, and then we have to go. Let everybody know.
All right. You can find me at PutYouOnGame, at PutYouOnGame. I'm on YouTube, PutYouOnGame. TikTok, PutYouOnGame. Everywhere, just PutYouOnGame. And you will see me. You'll see this logo. When you see this logo, you know you're in the right spot.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Busties. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And we are going to see you next week here at Live Hip Hop Daily each and every Thursday at 7. Bye.